Ariel Helwani has come out and made some massive claims about this UFC fight fixing scheme. So let's get into it. Now, if you don't know who Ariel Helwani is, I would say he's probably one of the biggest journalists in the UFC MMA combat sports space. And what he said is he's had reputable sources, so UFC fighters, UFC referees potentially, come to him and say they have been offered money to throw fights. Ariel has said that it's lower level guys on the card being approached by these people asking them to throw fights because they're not making as much money and they're in a vulnerable situation. This obviously also makes the UFC look like shit and brings into the discussion of, are your fighters being paid enough? Because if someone is approaching them and getting them to throw a fight because they're not making enough money doing their job, that's a problem in and of itself. Because if you are a fan of MMA combat sports, the UFC especially, there are some very questionable decisions being made by referees and by judges. Now, these claims are not verified, but it does absolutely open up the discussion. Are refs potentially getting paid off? Are judges potentially getting paid off? Now, this is a massive fucking problem for the UFC if your refs, your judges, and your fighters are getting paid off to throw fights. Now, of course, this is all speculation. If it does come out that there's been fighters, refs, and judges throwing and fixing fights, it'll be a very, very interesting court case, that's for sure. I want to know what you think. Do you think there's some kind of massive fight fixing conglomerate going on in the UFC at the moment? I'm starting to think there might be. Let me know in the comments.